Urban centers in the metropolis, the best sources of economic opportunities, where all possible amenities abound, superstructures, bright lights. But behind the walls of these commercial districts lie a substructure of traditional small neighborhoods. Communities that clearly show a delineation between the extremely wealthy to those of the miserably poor, where a large number of people live in makeshift housing, often without water, electricity, or sewage, often without even just a semblance of ownership of the land they occupy. And because of this, they constantly live with a fear that one day they will be forced to leave their abodes. Marikina City has not been spared from the phenomenon of informal settlers. The influx of people coming from the different regions of the country started many years ago for economic reasons. For the greater part of the 20th century, Marikina was the biggest manufacturer of quality shoes. Although the trade was first dominated by mostly Mariqueños who learned it from Capitan Moy or Don Laureño Guevara, migrants from Visayas and Mindanao came over in search of greener pastures. They also learned shoe craftsmanship from the Mariqueños. Other migrants also benefited from a number of industries in Marikina. They appreciated the rustic quality of suburban life, which supported their economic needs. And they came and settled. They contributed to the growing number of residents. Marikina became a victim of runaway economic growth that brought with it a heavy influx of migrants. But these migrant workers did not have the money to buy land and build decent homes. They became squatters.
We started to develop Marikina in 1991. There were already a large number of people, but the problem is they were mostly informal settlers. So the big challenge there was how to be able to relocate them to areas which were out of the danger zone because many informal settlers were living along the river. And there were 10,000 families along the river, and that was a major hurdle to transfer or relocate the families to higher ground and to find space for them within the city.
Squatting has become the problem of all urban centers in the Philippines. People from the rural areas get attracted by economic benefits that urban centers offer, but they fail to realize that living in highly urbanized centers exact a higher cost of living. Marikina has not been exempted from the problem of squatters, who later became known as informal settlers. About 1/3 of its population was composed of these informal settlers. In 1992, then-Mayor Bayani Fernando launched a settlements program. Armed with the law, Republic Act 7279, or Urban Development Housing Act of 1992, he mobilized the local government to do the following: identify the squatter colonies and the families residing in different areas of Marikina, conduct a citywide registration and continuing census, make an inventory of all possible land in the city which can be used for resettlement.
Nung tumira ako dito sa Marikina, nag-start ako noong 1995. Ang baling nakaupo na mayor noon ay si Bayani B.F. Fernando. Ang sa history ng panunungkulan niya, nagkameron kami ng around 30,000 na informal settlers. Doon sa mga 30,000 na informal settler na dala namin yan sa maayos at magagandang lugar. Nabigyan ng mga sariling mga lote sa mababang presyo, sa mababang halaga na kung saan ito ay magiging sa kanila na lang.
By 1993, the citywide registration was held where some 23,000 squatter families were identified and listed. Informal settlers who have been residing in Marikina became the automatic beneficiaries of the settlement program. This was just the beginning of the arduous trek of the city government. As the local government began its resettlement work, it used the following guidelines. Priority for relocation was given first to people living in danger zones. Only 24 square meter lot were given to every squatter family. The size of the land allotted for the squatters was also based on the requirements of Republic Act 7279 or UDHA of 1992, which defined 24 square meter lot for every family beneficiary of the program as in-city resettlement.
Organize yung community if it's LGU originated because we have to study the subdivision plan submitted by them. So we were able to advise them on the appropriate roadways and pathways within the community, particularly yung mga drainage outfall. Kasi ang problema sa community dahil premium talaga ang open space. We were able to plan with them yung mga kanal, tsaka yung, siyempre, yung roadway. Tsaka we also tell them yung mga building code about dapat meron tayong space for communities, that your structures should be within the property limit, although sa settlement area may zero setback kami. But we ensure to it na meron talagang airspace between houses para maliwanag yung panining na ang mga nakatira doon sa lupa nila.
To support the local government's efforts of providing the underprivileged decent housing at affordable cost, Mayor Bayani Fernando created the Marikina Settlements Office, or MSO, on February 5, 1993. The MSO was tasked to formulate and implement development policies for the landless, low-income residents. It formulated Marikina's land use as well as land conversion policies. And MSO became a central authority for the urban center development.
Dito naman sa amin sa Marikina, we try to yung growth ng informal settler ay hindi na dapat dumami. Yung squatter prohibition ng city, we maintain that by monitoring all vacant lots kung ino-occupy. Consistent monitoring, occupancy check. We do a structural mapping sa lote. So, pagka dumami to, tanggal yung bago, ganyan. So, we try to control. Kung ano na yun, sa record na MSO, di ka na dapat dumami.
The political commitment to achieve the development goals of Marikina, Mayor Fernando used both physical reconstruction and social reorientation as his strategies. It also became a good strategy towards the realization of Marikina's vision of revitalization of the business climate in the town. The social reorientation aspect of the resettlement program took place through information dissemination among the target beneficiaries. It led to the higher level of awareness and acceptance of responsibilities among the people about their self-governance responsibilities in their own communities. Such a combination allowed for the squatters to become partners in development while exercising their new role towards people empowerment.
Buong Fortune, mayroong 54 association na nabuo, pinagsama-sama yung lahat. Sumama ako doon. Ako naman yung na-elect doon as treasurer. Yung tulong po ng federation, kung may mga samahan na nagkakaroon ng problema, imbis na dadalhin sa barangay o kaya sa city hall, dinadaan na lang nila kung minsan sa federation. Sila na yung tumutulong kung ano yung dapat gawin. So yun po yung objectives ng federation para tumulong din sa mga samahan na nangangailangan. Nagkakaroon kami ng meeting, nagkakaroon ng bonding, yung mga bayarin, kailangan sama-sama kami, hati-hati. Kung may mga dapat hindi pinagkakaintindihan, mismo nasa samahan, pinag-uusapan.
Over the years, squatter communities became politicized. Residents have learned to use their political power to ensure their residency. At other times, some became what we call professional squatters. These are people who wander from one squatter area to another, especially in areas developed as government housing, to gain a share from the program. The Vision Squatter-Free Community became the guideline of the local government. It was able to develop several forms of mortgage financing programs. The Community Mortgage Program originatorship was one of them. The Local Government Shelter Project was another one.
We have 30,000 households of informal settlers. Mga 21,000 rito ay nasa ilalim ng programang CMP. At mga nasa 2,000 naman yung tinatawag naman nasa permanent settlement size. So more or less, yung aming security of land tenure ay nasa 23,000 households na. At yung iba naman, ongoing pa ang aming mga negosasyon. Meron din kaming mga direct purchase. Actually, sa direct purchase kasi medyo lesser yung involvement ng gobyerno doon dahil nagiging direktang bilihan na yun sa may-ari. So, mga around 15 projects sa direct purchase, meron kaming naka-accredit na gano'n.
Although the resettlement program slowly gained grounds, it must be emphasized that the local government has invested a lot to realize its vision. Land use census surveys, dismantling and prevention of construction of illegal structures, development of basic service facilities, and ensuring that relocates have livelihood opportunities. The MSO has facilitated land acquisition for quite a number of households. Some are still in process. The presence of accredited homeowners associations complements the local government's efforts.
Ang MSO naman, ginagawa naman nila yung trabaho nila, yung tungkulin nila para sa amin. Nandyan sila para tumulong, lalong-lalo na sa pag-prepare ng mga dokumento namin. Talagang sila yung nalalapitan namin. Although hindi naman talagang perfect talaga, hindi masabi, pero hindi sila nagpapabaya. Every time na kailangan namin ng mga dokumento na hinihingi naman sa taas, sa kanila kami nakakuha. So, yun lang sabi ko sa mga yung MSO department, mga staff, tuloy-tuloy lang nila yung ginagawa nilang pagtulong sa amin. At nagpapasalamat naman ako sa kanila.
Ondoy came in 2009. It brought devastation and great losses to lives and livelihoods of Mariqueños. It also left not only a thick blanket of mud, but also voluminous amount of garbage and debris in one of the cleanest and greenest cities of the country. What compounded the problem immediately after Ondoy was the fact that the rescuers themselves needed to be rescued.
Marami ang nasalantang kapag-aari talaga, hindi lang doon sa ating mga informal settlers, maging dito sa ating mga subdivision at saka poblasyon. Talagang nung una ay parang gusto na nating sumuko dahil malaki ang pinsala, maski mga equipment at mga tao, empleyado rin ng pamahalaan ay naparalisa na.
Marikina, after Ondoy, was literally rising from the mud. After the flooding, the great problem was cleaning up what's left from the mud-covered city. Other LGUs and private organizations lent helping hands.
So ang unang-una nating inayos dyan yung palengke para ang mga tao ay may mabilad. Sumunod, inayos natin yung mga lansangan, inalis natin yung mga nagbuwala sa sasakyan, mga putik para makapasok lahat ng mga equipment para maisaayos ng mabilis. Unti-unti, hanggang sa loob lamang ng isang buwan, ay nagkaroon na tayo ng 90% na accessibility muli.
Although the resettlement program earned accolade from among the beneficiaries and award-giving bodies, The city of Marikina learned hard lessons along the way.
Right now in Marikina, we are lucky that we have taught our people that this is the way how you teach them how to take care of your children, to take care of your health, all right, and the environment, the sanitary condition, safety, and all that. Make them feel that they're part of a society. This is not that because you wanted to just to live, you do anything you want. That there's a law, rules, regulation to be followed.
Nagpapasalamat nga kami sa tulong ng city government na naayos ang namin lugar na medyo dati magulo yung mga iskinika dito, hindi namin malaman kung saan kami dadaan. Pero sa ngayon, paliwanag na.
Galing kami dun sa parang walang kasiguruhan yung pinanggalingan namin. Tapos nilagay nila kami dito na binigyan naman kami ng pag-asa.
Sabi nga natin, 3 po ang basic needs ng tao, yung pagkain, shelter at damit. Isang kasiguruhan po sa aming pamilya na magkaroon kami ng tirahan.
Development of in-city settlement sites eliminates the issue of displacement and ensures social acceptability. Alleviating squatting problem improves the community's livability and competitiveness, and that a squatter-free community is no mean task, but not impossible.